What is up, everybody? In this video, I'm breaking down my strategy and the top three picks that follow this strategy going into this upcoming UFC fight card. Kai Kara France versus Amir Albazi. Let's do the damn thing. All right, first things first, like always, we always start this by breaking down the fight card in its entirety to formulate this strategy. So first thing I look at is how many fights are in this fight card. And in this particular night, we have 13 fights. That's average. Uh, 13 is where I draw the line for average. Below 13 is small fight card. Above 13 is high amount of fight cards. That's important. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but this is very important when you're formulating strategy here. Um, More fights there are, the more fighters are available to score higher points. Thus, the winning lineup will have a higher overall score. So, medium fight card, that's average. The second variable I like to look at when we're predicting how high the winning lineup will score is the ITD lines and how many wrestlers. As we all know, fighters tend to score more if they finish their opponent, and wrestlers tend to score more than non wrestlers or grapplers in this case. We also have those jiu-jitsu guys that aren't the best at wrestling, but they do have their sneaky takedowns here. So two wrestlers, not too many takedown upside here. And the ITD lines are average. I would categorize them. I don't want to get into it too much, but there are as many as there are above 50% inside the distance. There is below 50%, and a couple at 50%. So we're at about average in both number of fights and inside the distance percentage. So overall, we're looking at at creating balanced lineups here. Second variable to look at, and this is important because this will predict how many lineups I'm gonna put out there to see, because we are playing Rainmakers here. So if there's more live dogs, they tend to go at a lower price, so we can field, depending on your bankroll, we could field multiple lineups here. And in this case, we have 10 out of 13 fights are live dogs. So what that gives us is the opportunity to find value in these live dogs here. Um, so putting all this together, what I'm looking at, my strategy approaching this upcoming fight card is have a balanced lineup as far as looking for high ceiling and safe floors. I'm gonna balance those two out, try my best to balance those two out. Uh, Find value where I can fit it in. I'm gonna be shooting for value here because there's so many fighters available here that have that good potential to win. And third of all, we're building multiple lineups here. We're going high value. I don't know why I just twitched here, but it's those freaking central nervous system here. So excited. Okay, so getting into our picks here. These are my top three picks. Um, First pick here, I was considering value. This fighter, he is a favorite. He's a 53% implied probability to win here. And these are rare prices. Thursday, June 1st. These are the prices here. John Castaneda is priced at $3.20. So he's priced as an underdog. His opponent, who he's favored to defeat, making his debut, Gafurov, is priced at $7.78. That's pretty ridiculous if you ask me. So I'll take that any day of the week. Favorite, slight favorite, but nonetheless a favorite, priced at an underdog. He does have two inside the distance wins, which averaged out at about 100 points. So it shows that he can get to 100 points. His inside the distance implied probability for himself is at a 29.85%, which is very decent. And looking at the big picture here, pick number two, I'm going with Victor Altamirano. He is an underdog, a live underdog. Implied probability to win is at 38.5%. He is priced pretty decent at $4.29. I like him because he does look like a safe floor here. His opponent is Tim Elliott, who is a grappler, and his inside the distance is one of the smallest as far as the favorites at 21.05. It's the second smallest inside the distance behind Nurmagomedov, Abukabar. I always have trouble saying those Dagestanian names. So second smallest inside of the distance. So what this is saying is Victor, if he gets defeated, we're hoping he wins, obviously. But if he's defeated, chances are it will go in. It will go all 3 rounds, which it won't break your lineup if you do have him in your lineup and he does lose. Looking at his past fights, he's had one loss go to decision, and he did score 42 points. So that's very good points for a loss here. And one thing to be wary of is Tim Elliott is a grappler. He averages around 3 takedowns per fight, and so that is a cause for concern because we don't want him to grapple him and just have a bunch of control time. But to combat that, we do have Victor Altamirano at 74% takedown defense, so that's pretty good, especially considering that Tim only has 3 takedowns per fight, which isn't too much here. All right, my third and final pick. This is more of a gut pick here. Um, as you all know, I like to look at the numbers. Number one, look at the numbers here, which we do a lot. But I also like to go with my gut because I am a fan of this, and I feel like I have a good tell on these fights. Is Alex Caceres? Been looking at the tape. He's a pretty good stand-up fighter. I like his stand-up. It's he's pretty aggressive, and he's fighting Daniel Pineda, who's pretty old. He's 37 years old, and he is very hittable, a very hittable fighter. He struggled with Andre Fili. The fight got stopped because of a cut, but before that, he was really struggling with Fili's stand up. And he was also struggling a lot with Cub Swanson, who Cub Swanson ended up finishing him in the second round. And Cub Swanson, Andre Fili, and Caceres, in my opinion, call me crazy, but they're at about a similar uh, caliber as far as pure striking. Obviously, they're not exactly the same. I'll rank them in my ranking. I believe it goes Cub Swanson, Andre Fili, and then Caceres, but they're not too far apart from each other and comparable. And seeing how Pineda dealt or lack of dealing with Fili's stand up as well as Cub Swanson stand up, I expect Caceres to go out there and do the same and finish them here. That's my third and final pick. I do to finish things off here, I do like the main event here. I don't think this is a fight card to fade the main event. I did not want to add him in my top picks, but I do have a pick there. I am making a video that's going to specifically break down the main event because I feel like there's a lot going on here. I will link it in this video, and I hope you guys catch that one. Thank you guys for watching.